Well, is this the best RC car cooling fan system in the world? Well, in this video, you're going to see me fit the powerhobby twin turbo fan 1/8 scale cooling system to this Armour Infraction. This is my 6S model, and the motor can run quite warm at times on air, and a powerhobby twin turbo fan jumped out at me because it is less than half the price of the Yare Racing twin fan system. Yours for around $22, and there is a link to it below the video. However, JJ Customs down in San Jose also stock the powerhobby twin fan. So if you're in the NorCal area and you like what you see in this video, and I think you will, as I've got a structure test coming up where you're going to be able to see the before temperature of the car and the after temperature with the fans fitted to the car. So how is this going to play out? Well, in the first part of this video, you're going to see me use the laser temperature gun with the car at rest, take the temperature of the motor, and then I'm going to thrash the life out of the thing. I'm going to drive it nicely for 3 minutes around the yard. Then I'm going to take the temperature immediately afterwards with the laser gun again. So we've got the before and the after temperature. Then I'm going to leave the whole thing to cool right back down. And in the meantime, I'm going to fit the powerhobby twin turbo fan system to the car. When everything's cooled back down to the stop temperature or thereabouts, I'm going to take the temperature again. Then with the fans on the car and running, I'm going to drive it very nicely and thrash the life out of it around my yard again for 3 minutes precisely. And then I'm going to take the motor temperature again with a laser gun. So we're going to be able to see just how much cooler the fans help keep the car. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, let's get straight down to it and let's take a look at the powerhobby twin fan setup. Well, just before we take that first heat reading on the motor, here is the powerhobby twin fan kit. There is a link to it below the video, by the way. And you've got your twin fans here. Now, if you've only got one servo port free, you're going to need maybe a little Y adapter on there to power them, but I believe I've got 2 free on the Armour. And we've got the fixings for attaching those onto the top of the heatsink here. Now the heatsink is very neat, heatsink fixings here, because it doesn't ziplock tie around the motor. It screws down around the motor and clamps around. So in the event of any kind of crash or tumble on any 1/8 scale car, not just the Armour Infraction, the heatsinks and the twin fan are not going to be going anywhere at all. And that avoids the problem that you can get with heat, like some of the Castle ones where they've got a ziplock tie around them. That plastic ziplock tie, if the motor gets very, very hot indeed, can stick to the fan or melt and cause you problems. So very impressed with the engineering quality from the outset with the powerhobby twin fan setup. Anyway, the temperature on the motor is, we'll call that 65 degrees as a peak on there. So we're now going to go outside, hoon around for 3 minutes and check that motor temperature again. Okay, alarm set for 3 minutes. Let's get some heat in the motor. Now, when I first tried this, So I'm basically trying to pump as much heat in the motor as I can in this short space. Well, I'm going to speed it up to the end of the 3 minutes. There's a doubt you want to watch 3 minutes of me having an absolute blast drifting around the yard. Okay, alarm's going off. So, quick as we can. Okay, body off. Speed is the key with this. Okay, motor temp. 80, we had a peak of 84 on there, showing 82 at the minute. Yeah, around about peak of 84 I'm thinking. So I'm now going to let the thing cool back down to the initial temperature, fit the fans to it, and then we're going to come out again, run it at just as hard for 3 minutes and take the temperature afterwards and see just how much of a difference the powerhobby twin fans are making in keeping the heat down. If you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe. I'm putting the first fan on and something occurs to me. You want the air to be blown down from outside onto the fan. You don't want the fan sucking the hot, trying to suck the hot air or the heat away from the motor. You want it blowing cool air onto the motor and onto the heatsink here. So it has the powerhobby sticker on both sides. So I have no idea which way sucks, which way it blows on there at the minute. Fans ready to mount on the motor. Now the one thing I would say is there is no need to go into overkill when tightening these screws. Just like finger tight is absolutely fine on there. I would say do as I say, not necessarily as I do. You want the fans so they're blowing the cold air from outside in
and then the heat will be forced out through the grills to the side. That is ideally the way a cooling fan should work. Rather than trying to suck the heat away from the heatsink, you want to be blasting cold air in, and then it will then carry the heat out from the sides. In order to do that, you will note the little cages are facing on the other side of the fan. So these are open without any guards. So you might want to think about maybe putting a little piece of mesh or something over the top to stop debris getting drawn in there. But anyhow, having taken the leads across to the receiver, simply plug them into the auxiliary port on there. Pleased to say that when you turn the power on, the fans are going. Anyway, I would say they are very much turbo fans. When I had them removed, I was trying it on my hand, and the amount of air they're generating compared to a normal motor fan is simply phenomenal on air. So with the two of them on it, I'm fairly confident we will see a good reduction in that motor heat. I've plugged them into the receiver, so simply got to put the receiver box on, feed the wiring round, tidy that up, and let's get outside.
Now with the fan in place on the arming fraction, one thing I would point out is this little ridge where the screws go through just protrudes out slightly, so I've had to tilt it around slightly just to avoid it fouling on that drive shaft. But that's not going to be the same for every fan installation on every motor. But just if you are installing this armor fraction, you're going to need to just tilt it forwards a bit, which is no bad thing. You get cool air in from under the wheel. And the final part of the installation, I've taken the fan wires from each of the fans, run them into a bit of heat shrink tubing, taken that over down into receiver. They plug it into any two auxiliary ports in your receiver, so they're all ready to go. Battery on board, moment of truth, turn it on, and there we are, fans running. And boys, that sounds like a turbo fan, because they are drawing in a massive amount of air, I can tell you that right now.
So with the Power Hobby twin turbo fan fully installed, it's time to go outside and do another 3-minute test and see what the temperature is of the motor after 3 minutes. I have a feeling it should be a lot cooler than it was earlier. Well, with the Power Hobby twin turbo fan setup installed, it's time to do the same test again. So I'm going to take the temperature of the motor now. 66 degrees. It was 65 degrees yesterday when we started, 84 when we finished, making for a total of 19 degrees increase over the 3 minutes. So I'm now going to run the car flat out for 3 minutes, hone it around, put some heat in that motor, and see just how much cooler the Power Hobby twin fan setup keeps it. Set alarm for 3 minutes.
It's a hard job some days. Clearly, today's not one of those days.
Let's get to it, Rich. Need new tyres at this rate. Oh, you can smell that tyre smoke.
Well, as before, I'll speed up me having fun and get to the 3-minute marker point.
Oh, let's get the temps down. Come on, Rich, get the gun on it. Okay, stop the temp. Okay, temperature gun on there.
Well, the temp was jumping up and down a bit, but I varied it between 72 and 75 degrees, so I settled on 74 as the meridian.
Anyway, let's take it back inside now for a quick comparison. And I'm going to need new front tyres. Power Hobby, send me some new tyres. I've worn them out testing this. And just of note, the rear tyres and the fronts are actually hot to the touch.
Well, I did say at the start of this video, the numbers just blew me away. Without the fans fitted to the car, we set a start temperature of 65 degrees, rising to 84 after that first 3-minute run, a rise of 19 degrees. With the twin fan setup fitted on there, when I tested them today, we had a start temperature of 66 degrees, so just 1 degree ambient temperature difference. But at the end of that 3 minutes, the temperature was 74 degrees on there, a rise of just 8 degrees in the same 3-minute thrashing out around the yard. That is absolutely outstanding to my mind. Like a single fan on there, I would have barely put a dent in it, even a single normal fan, but these things are called turbo for a reason. They're quite noisy, but they're now blasting the air through, so they're definitely doing their job, and that is why the Power Hobby Turbo Twin Fan definitely gets the Richie thumbs up. Link to the below the video. Hope you enjoyed the test, because I did have fun making it. New set of tyres aside. Oh. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video, and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell. As I say, you can buy the fans direct from Power Hobby, or if you're in the NorCal area, then JJ Customs do have the Power Hobby twin fan setup in stock.